Hello, this is Edward Lambert with another video about the six-element model for acupuncture. This video is going to present the climatic factors of wetness and dryness in the six-element model. It comes from Chapter 8 in my ebook, Creating Life, about six elements. I will read as an audiobook. Okay, wetness and dryness. The last pair of pathogenic factors involves the abundance or the absence of fluids. I've already covered the other two climatic factors of heat and heaviness in two other videos. So now, these are the last pair, wetness and dryness. Wetness is a condition of abundant fluids in the body. Dryness is the absence of fluids in some part of the body. Wetness is mainly associated with the element water. Dryness results as the yang elements express their activities of warming, drying, dispersing, and stimulating. The yang elements consume water in the body. In some respect, however, metal can actually produce water because it can actively carry water. No other yang element can do that. The element most in struggle with water is fire. Fire causes dryness in the body. Fire uses up and evaporates water, leaving an area dry. This dryness is seen after a fever. Wetness must return to the area in order for life to continue there. But without the interaction between fire and water, there would be no life. The struggle between fire and water is the most predominant struggle between yin and yang in the body-mind. Dryness is a yang pathogen, so it has an affinity with the yang triangle. Within the yang triangle, dryness develops between the elements of fire and a metal. Fire most intensely initiates the development of dryness. Fire starts to consume the concentrated wetness in wood blood. The heat produced by fire pulls and pushes fluids out of an area. This is a necessary consequence of yang activities. Yang simply consumes yin substances. Water is the most fundamental yin substance. Fire happens to be the most raw and fundamental yang substance. These two elements consume each other more than any other. Fire goes into the viscosity of blood and consumes its fluids. The element after fire is earth. Earth is the driest of the yin elements as it comes after the intense drying effects of fire. Earth actually likes to be moistened by other yin substances, blood and fluids. The digestion of food and drink provide those yin substances. After earth comes the element of metal, which has a further drying effect on wetness. Metal blows across the surface of an object, which pulls moisture out of it. A strong wind can dry up the soil just as fast as the hot sun baking it. Sweat is more effective at cooling the body when a wind is blowing. As the sweat dries off the skin cools down. The metal element controls the releasing of the exterior of the body. Metal has the nature of being the driest element, but it is not the most drying element. That element is fire. Still, very dry air will evaporate the moisture at the surface of an object. The drying potential of metal is more delicate and superficial when compared to combustion of fire. Wetness is a yin pathogen, so it has an affinity with the yin triangle. Within the yin triangle, wetness is developed between the elements of water and wood. The element water comes from the dryness of metal. The fluids created can be extremely abundant. Just look at how much of the Earth's surface is ocean. We live in a very wet planet. Still, there are places that haven't seen any moisture for decades. The sun and dry air pulls moisture out of these places. Eventually, the rain must fall. Water will return. It is the cycle of nature in which we live. Water has permeated every place on this planet at some time. This is in stark contrast to the time before water existed on this planet. At that time, every place on Earth was completely bone dry. Too much water leads to flooding. In the body, this is experienced as edema, nasal discharge, or even diarrhea or incontinence. Flooding can overburden the yang energies and consume them. Weakened yang energies then can't solve the accumulation of fluids. Weakened yang energies are reflected in increased urination, night sweating, and diarrhea. Water flows into the element seed. Seed is awakened by water, just as a seed sprouts once it is moistened. Seed is the wettest of all the yang elements due to its position between water and wood in the six-element cycle. Seed requires wetness in order to fulfill its function and purpose. Seed is essential to creating life. In the physical body, the element seed functions through the interstitial fluids between cells and in the blood. This will be discussed in more detail in the chapters on Sanjiao and pericardium in the book Creating Life. The element wood has a thick viscosity. Wood is actually the wettest element in the sense that water is extremely concentrated within it. Blood is a form of thickened and concentrated water. Blood has increased potential energy because yin is concentrated within it. The element seed performs the function of concentrating wetness into the blood. Blood is a very special substance. Water by itself cannot support life. Blood has the unique quality in that it only exists to support life. Blood is wet. It is taught that blood and fluids have the same source. If one is low on blood, one should not be made to sweat. This will aggravate the blood deficiency. The common root that blood and fluids have is the yin triangle of essence. Blood depends upon an abundant wetness. It is good to drink a glass of water first thing in the morning to replenish the fluids in the blood that have been removed during the night. When we drink water, it goes straight from the digestive tract into the blood. Some blood deficient symptoms result purely from not enough water in the daily diet. The quantity of blood decreases, causing a blood deficiency. A general rule on how much water to drink daily is 0.03 liters per kilogram of body weight. Drinking this much water helps the body cleanse itself and keeps the blood tonified. To sum up, dryness develops in one half of the six-element cycle, from fire to metal. That's from fire to earth to metal. Wetness develops in the other half, from water to wood, where you have water to the element seed to the element wood. These two halves oppose and at the same time complement each other. Within the full cycle of the elements, the body has the ability to moisten tissues and wash away toxins, as well as to control excess moisture that accumulates. The body seeks to maintain a harmonious balance between wetness and dryness. The wetness is moderated by yang elements. The dryness is moderated by yin substances.